I've been a huge geek today. So today is the day that Marty McFly left 1985 and arrived here in 2015. And of course, fans are celebrating all over the world. And you got Pepsi, who releases Pepsi Perfect, and you got Nike, who released those cool sneakers with the automatic laces. But some fans are taking it a step further and making their very own time machines. Built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're going to build a time machine, you got to do it in style.
A childhood dream becomes a reality for Brett Aiken. He's built his very own Back to the Future time machine.
It stayed in my garage until I backed it out looking like this.
The dials, the buttons, the sounds, and of course, what makes time travel possible.
Obviously, you have your flux capacitor in the back.
You truly feel like you're sitting in Doc Brown's invention.
Here we go, November 5th, 1955. We'll go ahead and simulate that. Oh, we see we can't go anywhere. We're out of plutonium.
This thing really is impressive. It is movie quality. Every little detail that you can possibly think of has been put inside of this car. And it took him nearly 1,500 hours to get it all done. Despite decades.
A warm toasted English muffin topped with a freshly cracked egg.
Into an event.
Stop by, like, I got to take a picture and look at it. It was really cool.
You get fist bumps and honks and people waving at you and almost running into each other trying to get a picture of it, and this is the reaction you usually get. What's up?
Brett takes his car to events like the Phoenix Comic-Con, where he met one of his heroes, Christopher Lloyd, who played Doc Brown. He even put his seal of approval on the visor. While this is a dream for Brett, it's a real treat letting others be a part of it.
I got that great feeling, you know.
Jeep Cherokee Latitude during the Jeep Celebration event.
The perfect pair of shoes or boots.
It's all worth it. It really is.
All right.
You can get them for less than $28.
Modifications. And then the Pepsi Perfect I was talking about, now that went on Amazon for about 20 bucks earlier today, and it's sold out immediately. Now, if you want that bottle of Pepsi, you got to go on eBay, and it's running between $300 to $500. Reporting live, Jeff Van Sant, 3 TV.
What a fun story. Made famous in the 1989 movie Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, when Doc Brown and Marty McFly travel into the future, the movie depicting a world with flying cars, floating hoverboards. The film even predicted that the Chicago Cubs would win the World Series. Sadly, that will not happen. That ended tonight when the Cubs lost Game 4. There will be no World Series, and there are no flying cars.
Well, there'll be no World Series with the Cubs in it, at least, right? And that didn't ruin, though, the fun for today's celebration. In fact, one Valley couple, they chose today as their wedding date, and the theme? You guessed it, Back to the Future. Christy Siefkin was there. She joins us live now. You got an invite to this? How did you arrange that?
It was more like we snuck onto the grass, and they were gracious enough to let us stay there.
To not kick you out.
Exactly, and to continue to enjoy the festivities with them. In fact, the bride told me that when she first started dating her now husband, she noticed that he had Back to the Future movies playing on constant replay. So she wasn't surprised when he suggested that they make the movies the theme for their wedding. The event took place earlier this evening at McCormick Ranch Golf Club, and it started at the exact time that Marty McFly takes off for the future.
These newlyweds have a bright future ahead, but to celebrate their nuptials, they went back to the future.
It's my favorite movie from when I was a child. So, I mean, I watched it religiously. There wasn't a week or a month that went by that I did not watch the Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Groom Salvatore Aiello and his bride Anastasia transported guests to the 50s, 80s, and the movies version of 2015. From futuristic groomsmen ties to a mini Hill Valley clock tower. The ceremony starting the exact time Marty lands in 2015.
We got so many calls with the invitations. Are you sure? 429? Why can't you do 430?
Inside the reception, an iconic 80s wedding cake topped with a groom in futuristic gear. And the DJ stand straight out of the Enchantment under the sea dance. Instead of a traditional photo booth, the bride and groom at this wedding opted for a green screen, one of my personal favorites. And the pictures you take here really do take you back into the future, hoverboard and all. But what about those predictions from the movie? Did they hold true on Anastasia and Salvatore's big day?
I think it will rain, so...
Yeah, it should rain today, which is pretty on par with the movie, so that should be good. I'm not sure about Goldie Wilson or hover cars, but we'll see.
Love that. Did they have the film on constant while during
replay?
Yeah.
No, I think that they just probably knew the lines well enough. They could shoot them off and entertain
That
guests.
is one of the most unique themes of a wedding I have ever heard.
Well, you've heard of themed drinks at a wedding, right? And
Sure.
maybe it's a tropical drink and they have a little tropical umbrella. Well, I brought you guys, John and Carrie, some drink umbrellas from the wedding. If you can't see it here, it says Back to the Future, the logo on each of those. So go home in your Mai Tai or your sangria.
That's what I was going to say. I'm missing something here.
Yeah, pop in. I know.
I usually do a Mai Tai each night when I get home, so this will be perfect.
You and me both.
You know, and his bride went totally on board with the whole idea.
She was on board. You could tell she loved him very much, and she kind of got the princess element, is what they said was the other kind of undertone of the wedding. A lot of the pink. One of the was the flower girl was dressed as Princess Aurora.
Love it.
So a lot of fantasy, a lot of fun, and everybody seemed to be enjoying it. So
and
congratulations to them.
Which is kind of cool.
Yes. And you were the guest. How cool.
Yes, I was an honored guest for sure.
Very
Lots of
nice.
fun.
Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome.
And check this out. This is so cool. These, remember the shoe stringless, self-tying, what they call them?
Yeah.
Self-tying, self-lacing Nike sneakers from the movie that Marty puts on when he arrives in the future. Kind of seemed like a movie gimmick at the time. It is reality now. Nike not only created an entire shoe line inspired by the film, they've created the exact show, self-lacing and all, just like in the show. And the first person to get a pair, how perfect, Michael J. Fox.
Just go ahead and press that green button there. It'll tighten.
Oh, that's insane.
And behind it is a red button. If you press that, it'll loosen it, that one.
That's cool.
How cool is that? That is really neat. Nike hand-delivering the first pair to Michael J. Fox earlier today. The company says this is a limited edition release. Boy, there was a time with my kids when they were little that this would have been really a great thing for them.
Nice to have, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and the shoes will go up for auction next year. Proceeds go into the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research.
Well, it's still raining across the state, and we still have it.
And Pat Danner.
He's allergic to
Coming up.
Well, in the movie, the Cubs were supposed to win the World Series in 2015. We'll show you what happened tonight at Wrigley Field. Hey, but the Cardinals, they're back on the practice field preparing for the big stage of Monday Night Football. Richard Sines going to take you to practice. Cards leading the way tonight in sports.
These Volkswagen SUVs.
See you guys again. The book is Extreme Ownership: How Navy SEALs Lead and Win. And if you guys just look at their bios and see what these two guys have done, and you will actually run to the store to buy this book because they actually know what they're talking about when it comes to how to lead. Great to see you both.
Thank you, Megan.
Well, we also have big new developments tonight with the New York City police officer shot dead last night, as the judge who released his killer is now defending his decision. Plus, another stunning twist in the story of the Texas teen behind the school project that looked like a bomb. And then, why are towns now canceling Halloween? Yeah, schools, over concerns about diversity. Halloween is now racist. Dana Lash is next.
It caught on and flying.
Oh no. He's gone. The dog's gone.